again. I hope everybody is doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Thank you all for joining another Square and Compass podcast live stream. Let's see who joins. Let's see what you guys want to chat about. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? Let's hear it. Or anything you guys want to talk about. We are 3 subs away. Hello, my getaway life. I hope you won't get away from hitting the like button and the subscribe button. See what I did there? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. How is your evening going? At least for me, it's 1 a.m. approximately. As I noted, this stream is all about Freemasonry. Hello, Travis the Pirate. How's it going as well? Let's not forget, March 28th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Windsor Masonic Temple. We're going to have a community services fair. Hope to see you guys all out there. I'm doing well. Nice. So where is your boat right now? Do you live on the boat, or do you have like a permanent dock that you have the boat in, or do you sail around to different locations? Because it sounds like a pretty wonderful life. And I've taught before about Freemasonry and water. It was, if not for water and the sea, Freemasonry would never have been able to spread. Freemasonry first made its way outside of England to a variety of different port cities, first and foremost, which is kind of a cool little note. Nice. So do you have a podcast episode, or sorry, do you have YouTube channel? Is it about your boat and your boat life? Because there was somebody I saw who did one. It was really cool. I always do Rum on Sunset. So I'm sure it's really cool content. I'm sure people enjoy checking it out. Whenever you're traveling, do you ever see any Masonic buildings? You should. I'm sure it'd be really exciting. Right? I'm sure people would really enjoy it. Nice. Hey, one's a great place to start. I think it would be awesome to see you do, to see some of your work. So keep me informed. Nice. Well, I hope maybe what you'll do is when you get the chance, you'll take some pictures of those buildings, because I would love to see them. And maybe you can send me through Instagram. Do you have Instagram, Travis the Pirate? Because if you do, perhaps you could follow me there. I'll leave you my Instagram information. It's Instagram.com/@square_and_compass_promotions. Oh my gosh, I don't know. All right, Catholicism, you're going to get yourself out of the chat. You don't set ground rules for this chat. This is not your chat. You need to start your own YouTube channel trying to set ground rules. I appreciate you trying to run things, but you need to stop doing that. Because almost anybody else would have banned you already. Shout out to my grandma. Well, It's not the point. You don't set the rules for other people. If you don't learn that, you're going to find yourself getting grounded a lot more. Shout out to my grandma since that's the only way she can hear you. Well, let's not shout out anybody, but let's shout at anybody. But if she does have struggles with her hearing, let's just tell her hello in a firm and loud yet friendly manner. I haven't done so yet, Park. I've been too busy. But the best way to do it actually is also if you could send me an email, squareandcompass.ca, contact, and send me the link that way. It's a little bit easier for me to keep track of it. Hello, Surez from India. Thank you for being here. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Lots of Freemasonry in India. It's really cool. So I appreciate you being here. I actually really would love to visit India one day. It would be really cool. I've been talking before about Canadians' travel to the United States and how much it's dropped and how that affects Freemasonry. According to Global News, Canadian resident trips to US plunged by 22% over this year. Um, Freemasonry does have ground rules. We have our constitution and our bylaws. Obviously, there's the rules in terms of who can join, such as you need to be at least 18 or 21, depending on the jurisdiction, belief in a supreme being. Then there's different rules for different lodges, including dress codes, things like that. I don't know what that 22 means, but thank you for being here. Well, did you hit the like button and the subscribe button before you farted? That's the better question. And also, did you apologize to anybody who may be in the room with you who has to smell it? Might be another very valuable question to ask. No, you definitely cannot be the mod, Catholic is cool. You definitely cannot be the mod. USA, well, if that's what you think, more power to you. Not everybody's a fan of Donald Trump, but I guess everybody decides for itself. All right. USA, this is a channel about Freemasonry. Having said that, do you have any thoughts on Freemasonry? Any comments, any ideas, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for being here. Adrift happiness. Nobody's earned being a mod. I don't know if I'm going to do any more mods. You guys can be challenging. But I will say thank you for being here. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Let's just start with that and work our way forward. Share the stream with others. That would be very kind. We'll move from there. A Freemason references a member of a Masonic lodge, which is a civic group or a civil group that has existed for approximately 300 years. In fact, over 300 years. Hello, Jason Shank. Thank you for being here once again. By the way, I hope people don't forget, we also have my Patreon account, patreon.com/squareandcompass. I hope you guys will consider becoming Patreon members. It would be much, much appreciated. Helps with the channel very much. By all means, many people will have started groups called Free Carpentry or Free Carpenters. You are more than welcome. Thank you for the floating heart adrift. I very much appreciate that. Hello, joystick. Nope. I hope everybody is, however, doing well. Thank you all for being here. Please take a moment. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, please let me know. I am a Freemason. I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years, so it's crazy to think it's been that long. But yes. No, that's not how it's going to work. You don't bribe your way into being a mod. You should know that. If you want to donate to charity, you should pick one that you want to donate to, maybe one that the Catholic Church supports, and go from there. Well, I will excuse your insults. I hope that you'll like and subscribe. How about we start with that? Yes, I got a big nose, but that shouldn't stop you from hitting the like and subscribe button. I've grown to accept the fact that I have a big nose. And I was mentioning above, I have a Instagram channel. Hope you guys will consider checking that out. Consider finding me on Patreon, all that good jazz. Believe me, it helps out very much. What's going on, Yucatan? Thank you for being here. I'm doing well. Well, fair enough. What can I say? What's up, indeed? And thank you for the floating heart adrift happiness. Things are going well over here. Hope you're doing well. Many people are jealous. Being mean will not get you anywhere in life. Being assertive can get you somewhere in life, without a question, depending on how assertive you are and how assertive you're being and kind of the nature of it. But I definitely think there's room for assertiveness and room for, but there's a difference between being assertive and being mean. Well, greetings from Mexico, greetings from Canada. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Please take a moment, hit the like button and the subscribe button. You don't have to defend me in the chat. I appreciate that, but I think I'll be okay. So I am not a big fan, and this is me speaking personally, not a big fan of Donald Trump. However, I understand some people do like him very much. Me, not so much. Concerned about the war, mostly I'm just hoping everybody can be as safe as possible. There are a lot of Masonic lodges in the Middle East, including in Israel, in Jordan, in Iran, and I want everybody to be as safe as possible. I mean, I don't know if humanity needs guidance per se. I don't know if people would, like, it's tough to imagine people wanting guidance necessarily, right? But certainly, I think we can guide through our actions, if nothing else. So it's one of those things where perhaps the best approach to take is for us to guide by our actions, demonstrate to others the manner in which we act as being appropriate, kind, helpful to those around us, and we work from there. No, we don't guide in the shadows. We exemplify good conduct in public, in the open, and we hope others will, by our example, emulate that conduct, is the best approach to take. You need to calm down, user. I'm actually a member of a Masonic Lodge in Israel and proud of it, but I also have nothing against the people of Iran, who are also, they're people like anywhere else. And there's actually a Grand Lodge of Iran in exile. Meet Jesus. You're spamming the chat. I'm going to put you in a bit of a timeout unless you say something else. Let's just put you in a 5-minute chat for the time being. Or 5-minute break, I should say. He was spamming. If he comes back and says the same thing, maybe we'll just hide him altogether. I don't want to necessarily automatically ban him because, he could be good people, but who cares about his faith? But that was getting very spammy, that's for sure. All right, user, you need to calm down as well. Many people believe in Jesus as their kind of God, supreme being, part of the Trinity. I think you're being a bit spammy as well. But Freemasonry encourages tolerance and kindness to those around us, including those of different faiths and beliefs. Dropping the hammer, absolutely, Yucatan. And thank you again, everybody, for being here. If you're not done so yet, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm 3 subscribers away from 3,750, so I'm almost there. And then I'm getting close to 4,000, which would be incredible. I don't know if we can say one faith is more correct than the other. I think that gets a little bit complicated in terms of what that means. Yes, I got big nostrils. Please hit like and subscribe. This is the Riddler from Batman, Z5MB Zombie. Please hit like and subscribe as well. We got the thumbs up. Honestly, though, interesting note, Batman was in fact a Freemason. People don't realize it, but it's true, at least according to comic books. According to comic book canon, I guess is the term, he was in fact a Freemason. So that's kind of cool. So Freemasonry is a speculative organization, which means we don't work. It's not a profession. That's operative Freemasonry, and they definitely don't work for free, nor should they. But Freemasonry is a community group or a civic organization. Anything we build is metaphorically built. Not that there's not a great value in metaphorical building as well, though, right? To its credit. No, I don't agree with that. I think that was the coolest parts of Batman is the fact that he didn't kill the bad guys. Iron, welcome back. Again, people of all different faiths are welcome on this channel. Freemasonry is welcomes people of different faiths, beliefs, and backgrounds. Wonder Bucket, I think you're new to the stream. Hit the like and subscribe button if you would. So there is no boss of the Freemasons. Freemasonry is decentralized. So what that means is in Ontario, there is the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Canada. He exists within Ontario. And he sets the rules for Masons within Ontario, but he does not set the rules for Masons outside of Ontario. Then there's a Grand Master in Manitoba. There's a Grand Master in North America, in different North American states and provinces. You know, every state as well as DC. So there is no singular Grand Master or singular boss who's responsible for Freemasonry on a global scale. It's jurisdictional. It's federal. Um, Interesting. Well, so in Ontario, right, it's democratic. So every couple of years there's an election. The Grand Master will usually go through a series of offices, and if he does well, he'll be voted into the next office and the next office. And he doesn't set the rules alone. There's a board of general purposes, there's different committees, all of whom have influence on different aspects of Freemasonry, but he is kind of the one who has the final say on Freemasonry in Ontario. Um, and you know, Freemasonry has always been democratic of its, you know, democratic within its nature, meaning it's always been the type of organization that will bring in different, that will focus on the will of the membership. That's one of the reasons why it's not a cult, right? Because people recognize, and we as Freemasons recognize that within Freemasonry, we welcome men of all different faiths, backgrounds, beliefs, all of whom have the right to have a vote on how things operate within their lodge and within the Grand Lodge jurisdiction. But keep in mind, he does not get to set rules for Masons in Manitoba. The Manitoba Masons will vote on their own Grand Master. If two Masons get into a fight, then two Masons get into a fight. It kind of is what it is. Hopefully, they have learned conflict resolution skills, so they do not get into a fight. They learn to air out their differences in a more healthy way, but no, that's not how it works. A little bit, a very little bit. I mean, a lot of people say that Freemasonry is related to Hermetism. I don't think it is directly. I'm sure there's parallels within the philosophy, but Freemasonry does not, you know, is not based on any single religious or philosophical belief system, right? That's something that's really important to keep in mind. Well, if they get into a fight during a meeting, they should both be asked to leave, and they should both be made to sort it out in a responsible manner before it gets to the breaking of point. If it gets to a point where people are breaking things, that's a problem. That would indicate that really that's on the worshipful master for not doing a good enough job and for not properly, you know, dealing with conflict before it erupts. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, you don't really get demoted. You can be suspended. I would say if there was a fight that was significant enough that things were getting broken, I would think that might be cause for suspension for unmasonic behavior. It wouldn't shock me. Yes, that's not a bad way to think about it. It's like a gentleman's club, but not the way it's used. I would not be opposed to that as an idea. Um, Thank you, Corvia. You know what's not expensive? Hitting the like button and the subscribe button. So please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. That's completely free. You know what else is not expensive? Becoming a Patreon member as well. Well, we're not sacrificing anything. Having said that, though, you also do not want to be starting anything and you don't want to be fighting. You should know how to resolve conflicts peaceably and, kindly with your brothers. A bowling club for charity, men organized for the common good. I guess that's not a bad way to think about it at all. Um, but it would be funny to see. I mean, it's not a bad way to think about it. What I would say is what makes Freemasonry a little bit more unique than a bowling club is its history. It's been around for a lot longer than bowling clubs and our rituals. But bowling clubs themselves, to be fair, can have their own rituals and ceremonies also, which is an important thing to keep in mind. So it's possible. Would I join a Freemasonry? So there's no such thing as when we hear the term Freemasonry motorcycle gang, we think of illegal activities and the one percenters. There's no such thing as that within Freemasonry. However, there is a motorcycle club within Freemasonry, not gang. Not everywhere, but in some jurisdictions it exists. It's called Widow's Sons. It's a really, really cool organization, and they do a lot of excellent charitable work. I have friends who are Freemasons. That's awesome. White Rose. I mean, you also are currently an audience member of a Freemason. I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. I would be most appreciative. What do your friends say about Freemasonry? Or do you ask them about it or talk to them about it out of curiosity? It's an excellent group. It's an awesome group. Um, it's a wonderful organization. Yeah, I think they're wonderful. No, it's not about higher levels. The highest level within Freemasonry is the third degree. There is no higher level. There's additional degrees within Scottish Rite and York Rite. But the way to advance within Freemasonry, and this isn't it's not about being powerful or famous or influential. Ultimately, it's a very simple thing. It's about being a good man and honorable and putting in work. Um, no, that's not how it works. At least I've never heard of that. I've known Masons join as young as 18 in some jurisdictions and as old as in their 70s. Um, Now, there are clandestine Masonic lodges that have different rules. I can't speak to them, but I can speak to our Masonic experience, which is, again, there is no age cutoff, quote unquote, right, to join. I would say the older you are, maybe. No, I'd say some people, it's one of those things they always wanted to join, but just life got in the way. They got busy, so. Thank you, Swollen. I've never got those stars before. That's a new gift. Thank you. Much appreciated. You have to put in work to advance in anything. In Freemasonry, very often the work is memorization, as well as showing up on time, being able to memorize certain pieces of work to show that you put it into your heart. Memorization is, when it comes to Freemasonry, without question, one of the most valuable skills you can develop within Freemasonry is the ability to, um, to complete memorization work. So no, not literal work. Yes, we do follow the laws. One of the things within Freemasonry is we are instructed to be compliant with the laws of the country in which we live or in which we're working or traveling through. Bra moment. Hello, Bra Moment. I think you're new to the stream. I don't recognize your name. There are many Freemasons of many different faiths, including Christian. George Washington was a Mason. That is very true. And he was actually very famous for being very active as a Freemason, even as the, um, even as a very active Freemason. Sorry, even as a president, he was still incredibly active as a Freemason, which I think is a really cool thing to note and really impressive, right? The fact that somebody could be a Freemason and yet be a president and still show dedication to Freemasonry. He would often visit Masonic lodges while on presidential work, for example. I've never really heard prospect. Candidate or applicant is usually the term. I mean, I didn't hear about that, but if he committed the offense, then I hope that he is appropriately punished. If he did not, then I guess I hope he's found not guilty. It says charges, so we don't know if it happened for sure, right? I guess innocent until proven guilty, but there'll be a trial and we'll see what happens. There definitely is no master plan. Everybody's kind of making it up as they go. That includes Freemasons, but we're trying our best, right? And that's all we can do. Iron Man might be a Mason. For example, we know Captain America is a Freemason, Bucky is a Freemason, Superman is a Freemason, and one more, I can't think of it now, and um, Bucky Barnes, Captain America, Superman, Batman are all supposedly Freemasons, at least according to the comic books. So, wow, 77 vibes. That does sound incredible. It sounds like he was incredibly active within Freemasonry and within the community and within the Oddfellows and within his church. So that's very cool. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great time. Well, to be one, ask one. Find a Masonic lodge within your area and ask them about joining. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It shouldn't happen overnight, but give it a shot. Well, you shouldn't fear Freemasonry. I mean, you should respect everybody, whether it be Freemasons or not, but you definitely shouldn't fear Freemasonry. We're good dudes. I mean, I don't think I'm that scary. If I seem that scary, then I'm doing something wrong, that's for sure. Well, I can't be everywhere. So unless you plan to join in Windsor, you're not going to have any luck. But I'm not interested necessarily, like, I'm be grateful for anybody who joins Freemasonry. Everybody should be. But that doesn't mean, you have to join Freemasonry. I'm just honored if you're part of Freemason. If you're part of this channel, that's good enough. And I'm grateful for that. Christians can, because I know many Christians who are Freemasons. I also know many Muslims, the Jewish people. I've also known many Christians who are part of other fraternities. Crow's Milk, ever been? Crow's Milk, please hit like and subscribe. Yucatan, if you're going to come to Windsor to be part of Freemasonry. That should be your focus. He was a Methodist. Who was a Methodist? Those are false. I mean, I don't think it's anybody's right, Iron P, to claim who is and isn't a true Christian, certainly not mine. I know many who are active in their churches, active in their faith, believe in quote unquote Jesus, the Holy Trinity. So they seem pretty active as members of the faith to me. No, Critter 3, I think that's not how it works even a little bit. That's awesome, Thomas. Very cool. I've never met any Rastafarian Freemasons. I've been told they exist. I mean, Freemasonry exists in Jamaica, so it wouldn't shock me if there were some Rastafarian Freemasons, but I don't know any. I can't speak to knowing any. Um, I read the Bible a very long time ago, so I can't speak to it much. I'm not a theological expert. I mean, look at like a Wes Huff if you want to know the theological facts. God will divide the wheat and tare. It's biblical. Isn't it the wheat and the chaff? Isn't that what it's called? And by the way, I feel like you're claiming I'm the tare, not the wheat. Hey, it's very important to drink your water, especially because I got some wrestling coming up. So, speaking of coming up this week on Friday and Saturday, there is Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling taking place, which is going to shorten the amount of time I'm spending on this stream. But I do plan to do some stuff on the stream still. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are going to be at the Windsor Masonic Temple for a community services fair. I really hope you guys will check it out. It's going to be incredible. I hope you'll be a part of it. Yes, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I love professional wrestling. It's one of my likes outside of Freemasonry and scary movies. So I'm looking forward to it very much. Um, there've been a few Masonic wrestlers, including Harley Race, for example. Who's your favorite wrestler? Yucatan. You can go, I mean, there's no rule that says you have to do what the Masons say, obviously. You can do whatever you want. There should be a wrestling promotion based on Freemasonry. I think that'd be really fun. We are just hanging out, waiting to see who joins. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, consider a super chat. What do you think of the people who bully or coerce others? Well, it's definitely not okay to bully anybody. It's definitely not okay to try to coerce anybody. Within Freemasonry, we have very strong and set rules that it is never okay to bully somebody. It is never okay to coerce anybody, certainly into joining as well. But for any other reason, it's not okay. I think that people who do that are weak people. I think they're struggling with various aspects of their life. I think we need to hold them accountable, but also try to figure out why they're bullying and what we can do about it. I mean, your mom is your mom. That's different. I wouldn't even bully anybody into hitting the like button or the subscribe button. So I talked about this earlier today, Jason, in the Manosphere stream. I think that the decline in the relevance of Freemasonry unfortunately opened up a space in which Andrew Tate could thrive. And I think that's really unfortunate because what it meant is he was able to attract a lot of followers, a lot of young men who were really struggling by telling them that success equals fast cars, a lot of women, things of that nature, as opposed to a more positive view of success, which emphasizes your impact on the world, the way you can make the world a better place, brotherhood, and treating other people, both men and women, well. But I think, look, when there is going to be this retreat of relevance within society as a whole for Freemasonry and other civic organizations, what is going to fill it up? Another way to think about it is the third space phenomenon, right? There used to always be your work, your family, and then a third space where you could go to interact with people in a non-expectational manner, if that makes sense. So at work, you have hierarchies. At home, there's expectations placed on you to provide or to, share in the work. Going to the bar with your friends, going to a bowling league, hanging out, In theory, there's no expectations. In theory, you're just there with your friends, your family, your friends, your brothers, your teammates. You're there for fun and enjoyment. There's a third space where you can be away from the responsibilities that make up day-to-day life. Those third spaces, which were civic organizations, elks, moose, bowling leagues, picnics, they've went away, at least physically, and they've been replaced with, amongst other things, online spaces. So for many men, the Fresh and Fit podcast has become the third space, for example. Um, and again, it's a place where they can go, they can feel like they belong to something, they can feel like they're part of something, they can feel like they're in a group without, but unfortunately, a lot of these groups spread a lot of, for lack of a better term, toxic ideology. That's why even on this stream, look, I'm grateful for everybody here. I hope you all stick around and stay, but not at the expense of forming relationships in the real world, face to face, person to person. Third places are essential. Hobbies are essential. So definitely don't like Nick Fuentes because I don't like Nazis. You could go to Parker Gym, absolutely. Well, I'm here, so feel free to expose me away, Iron P. Lucas, why do you think there's been a decline in Freemasonry? I mean, the decline in Freemasonry is not exclusive to Freemasonry. It's a decline in civic groups in general. Masons, Elks, Oddfellows, Rotary, Knights of Columbus. Why is really, really complicated. Part of it is a greater amount of entertainment options at home. We are competing with the television and with a pretty much infinite supply of movies and TV shows to watch. Also, we have now the ability to communicate with people through social media. We no longer need to see people face to face to feel connected with them. Although I would argue the connection of a internet and a chat room is less so than the connection being face to face. Also, people are tired. They're working longer hours for less money. The price of goods and services keeps going up, which means they may feel like they cannot dedicate themselves to Freemasonry. They need to focus instead on dedication towards, their own engagement, their own work. If the choice is overtime or Freemasonry, 20 years ago they may say, I'm not going to take the overtime, I'm going to go to lodge. But as gas prices increase, as things get more expensive, suddenly they're prioritizing something different. Plus, two-income households in general does not help anything. And also, people just have less civic engagement in general. They feel less connected to their neighbors. They feel less connected to their community. And if that is the case, they feel they're less likely to join a civic or community group. Um, he's he uses his humor and his ability to speak to spread an ideology that hurts people and that treats people as less than. So it's a humor that cuts. It's a humor that hurts. It's not the type of humor I'm interested in myself, for whatever it's worth. So do not like Nick Fuentes, but hey, can't deny the fact that he's doing well on the streams. I think it's an indictment to society to a certain extent that he's doing so well. But also, what can you do, right? I mean, all we can do is try to produce the best counter message we can and see what happens. No, brotherhood is essential, absolutely. Free will is incredibly important, Tricky Ricky. Please hit like and subscribe. Use your free will to like and subscribe. No Masons went to Epstein Island, at least not according to anything I've seen. Brian Addington, welcome. Thank you for being here. I think you're new to the stream, right? I don't know if I recognize your name. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Trump is not a Mason. There's no evidence that he is. I've never seen any evidence that Donald Trump is a Mason. Deception, I would definitely remember that name. Please hit like and subscribe. I have no idea if Donald Trump is trying to build the third temple if Israel's trying to build a third temple or not. I don't know if that's even a religious or political issue. I mean, I just hope the wars end in the Middle East as soon as possible, political tensions end. I would hope that, nobody is trying to hasten the return of the Antichrist or any such figures. I'm not a Christian myself, so I can only speak to it from a political standpoint and socio-political standpoint, which is, I would hope, because I believe there's already a mosque there, right? So I'd hope that every country would respect the current religious religious buildings and current religious architecture that is present there. Well, you can't join Freemasonry because of monetary desires or mercenary desires. So if you're joining because you're getting paid money, that would be concerning. You wouldn't be joining for the right reason. Um, Bill Clinton is not Masonic either. Now, Bill Clinton was DeMolay, which is a Masonic youth group. So if you want to argue in that case, he's a Mason. He's not, but he's part of a Masonic youth group called DeMolay. So that's something. Eli, well, then they're going to be incredibly disappointed because Freemasonry does not offer money for joining and you're not going to get rich. If anybody tells you that you should join Freemasonry, you'll get rich and famous, you will be very disappointed because that's not what Freemasonry is all about. Is all about, if you will. Deception of perception says amen. Amen to you as well. Thank you for being here. Joining the war, says Tricky Ricky. I mean, I hope that there's nobody else who joins the war and perhaps this thing ends as soon as possible. There's a lot of Freemasons in the Middle East. A lot of Freemasons have family and friends in the Middle East. I hope everything resolves as quickly as possible. Well, who is getting rich by being a Freemason? I've never got rich by being a Freemason. I don't know anybody who's gotten rich by being a Freemason. All is well. All is always well. Droll de Camp. They're going to make things even more well. Consider a 99-cent super chat or one of the gifts. It's wonderful. Every day I wake up and I say how blessed I am to be a Canadian. If you want to, I mean, look, I'll always support anybody choosing to join the armed forces. It's an incredibly honorable thing to do. But you're still pretty young right now, so I would say just focus on getting through school, right? One step at a time. I don't believe he is. I've never seen any evidence that Netanyahu is a Mason. I don't believe he is. Canada's the greatest country in the world. Part of it is because you're the greatest neighbors in the world. So I'm grateful. I'm graduating, going to what's MEPs? Calm down, Iron PR. You're gonna get yourself banned if you're not careful, or at least put on timeout. Don't be talking to people on the channel. No, the Jewish people don't hate the Freemasons. I've known many Jewish Freemasons, as well as many Catholic and Christian and Protestant and Muslim. Freemasonry is part of there are many different Masons represented in many different groups and organizations. So, and thank you, Tricky Ricky. Ethnicities, religions, backgrounds. I think that's one of the greatest strengths of Freemasonry is how many different people we have represented. Thank you, Deception. I appreciate that. Now there are different groups and organizations that may have incorrect views on Freemasonry, but part of that, I consider it my job to kind of represent positively about Freemasonry. Military entrance processing. Well, that is awesome, Lucas. I wish you the best of luck. You should be very proud of yourself. And I hope you're safe. I hope you make it through. But yeah, I have nothing but respect for the effort and for how much work that it is to join the military. So you should be proud of yourself. Jason, welcome. Thank you for being here. Sure. I mean, I don't know. Like cops is a weird term. I respect police officers. Obviously, they choose to put themselves in harm's way. Again, as a Freemason, I want to be respectful of the laws of the country in which I live. That includes those charged by the state to enforce those laws. And look, if I'm ever in trouble, the first place I'm calling is 911 or trying to get police to come get me and try to protect me. So it's not an easy job being a police officer. Now, there are bad ones, and that's just the nature of any organization. But I was in part of law enforcement for many years. I was a probation officer and I worked in a jail. So I know how hard it is to be a police officer, and I'm grateful for their efforts. Um, Skull and Bones, I don't know enough about Skull and Bones to say they may be bad. I mean, I couldn't really speak to quote unquote how good or not good Skull and Bones are. Whoa, Jason, don't be timing people out. Um, he was fine. I'm gonna take you out of not take you out of being a moderator. Uh, Jason, he was not worth. That was not worth the timeout. You need to relax a little bit. Did you just do it by accident? All right, we'll try to be more careful. What is 1.8 seconds? You timed him up for 30 minutes. All right, well, be way more careful because I like Catholicism is cool. So, Catholicism, you can still see me. Sorry about that. That was a mistake. Won't happen again. I don't know. Whether I'm gay or straight is irrelevant to me being a Freemason. Freemason does not discriminate based on one's sexual orientation. Please hit like and subscribe. Uh, and do they? I mean, I would also disagree with the premise of your question. Um, Men, stop falling into the narrative. You have to be nice. No, we have to be tough. I mean, you can be both. You can be nice and tough and nice and strong. I don't see why you have to be one in particular. Well, if you want to get a ring vegan, you have to join Freemasonry. Even then, you can get a ring without joining Freemasonry. A lot of people will buy the rings because they like the designs, right? You need to be really careful, though. That's why I always tell people don't assume that just because someone is wearing a ring, they automatically are a Freemason. That's not how it works. Um, why do self-control is key in everyday life? Right, I'm grateful for I think Freemasonry has encouraged me to have more self-control, um, to have more self-control, to be more temperate. Temperance is a very important idea within Freemasonry, a very important virtue within Freemasonry. And, I think that's a very valuable thing within Freemasonry. Nice. How was it? Matthew Lillard is incredible, right? Stu, he's one of those actors who he's had a couple iconic roles, Scooby Doo and then Stu Macher. Where was the panel? Um, Vegan for the animals, because I've been to a few different scary movie conventions and I love it. It's incredible. So, where did you go for this panel? We are just hanging out to see who joins. If you're new to the stream, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Caden, you're being weird. I'm going to put you in timeout in a second. I've found they speak, whether you're gay or straight, everybody kind of adopts their own speaking style. I don't think they all sound the same. So you're being very strange. Okay, I've heard interviews where he says that as well. Stu is definitely alive. So, yeah, I've seen that many times. I don't know. I don't think nobody should try this. Don't try this. But I don't think you can have a television dropped on your head, especially one of those old school televisions from like the 1996 and expect to live and survive. But that's just my humble opinion, you know. New York, that is awesome. So New York City or New York State? Where in New York? I would love one day to have a horror movie convention at the Windsor Masonic Temple. I think that'd be so cool. There's no math involved in that. I don't know what you're talking about. But I have heard Stu say many times um, or I have heard Matthew Lillard say many times that Stu lives. I don't know. That's my question. I highly doubt it. No, we're not going to drop any, we will not be dropping any televisions on anyone's faces. Hello, Brian Addington, once again. Please take a moment. If you're new to the stream, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm one subscriber away from 3,750 subs, so I'm grateful for that. And we are just waiting to see who joins and who wants to chat. These 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any specific topics. I just hang out, talk about whatever. So anybody wants to jump in with a thought, it doesn't even have to be about Freemasonry. The 1 a.m. streams, sorry, the 1 p.m. streams, I have more specific content. The 1 a.m. streams is just hang out. I'm getting there slowly but surely. 250 to go, just about. Um, you know, it definitely goes up and down, but I was grateful last year to get monetized. That was something I was very honored by as well. So, do I believe some dude that there is an objective evil? I've talked about this a little bit before. I believe that morality is rational but relative. It's like time. There's not a single correct time under the general theory, or under the special theory of relativity, or the general theory of relativity, but there is a rational way to measure time. So what that means is you and I may have somewhat different definitions of what good or what evil is, but that doesn't mean, and both could be rational, but that doesn't mean any definition is acceptable. Just like you and I may disagree on what our clocks say if you're going fast enough, but there is a way to, do a Lorentz transformation and properly understand. You can't just say like my time is half past a fish or, 3 triangles to the moon or something. That's not how it works, even with time being relative. In the same way, even though morality, I think, is relative, that doesn't mean any morality is acceptable or any morality is rational, right? There's no way, for example, to rationalize, at least that I can think of, certain acts. So, yeah, well, I mean, that's the point, right? Even though time is relative, that didn't mean that any time is acceptable or time is completely meaningless, right? Even though we know time is relative, we also know that right now it's 2:07 Eastern Standard Time, and we can make that measurement because time is still rational. So not any time counts. You can't just make up words and say, well, it's all subjective. No, it's relative. That doesn't mean it's subjective. Um, I mean, where do you live, Brian Addington? What part of the world do you find yourself in? And thank you for joining me from wherever you may be. We don't have a God within Freemasonry. Well, relative means there is a rational way to measure and determine, Subjective means each person gets to have their own opinion without question. So, for example, time is relative, but that doesn't mean it can be any time, anywhere. Oklahoma, nice. I would love to visit Oklahoma. There's some really cool Freemasonry within Oklahoma. So I would really like to visit there as soon as I could. The Oklahoma Indian degree team is pretty incredible. New Jersey is awesome as well. I've been to a Masonic Lodge in New Jersey. I was grateful for that. It was so cool. Anonymous, you should hit the like button and you should hit the subscribe button. That's what you should do. Well, liking is good. I'm much obliged. I'm a member of a Masonic Lodge in Israel. I keep saying that in Tel Aviv. Well, hit the subscribe button before you do anything else. Info Mark, how's it going? So, Oklahoma, Brian Addington, why would you say Freemasons have a negative view in Oklahoma? Because I've known a lot of Freemasons from Oklahoma. Seem like really good dudes, really positive dudes. Where do you think that negative view comes from? I just have a cat. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm working on it. Somebody help me out. I mean, there's the state of Israel that exists right now. Now, what you think about it politically, that's a whole separate can of tuna. Um, I mean, I think as a general rule, the ends do not justify the means as a general rule. Now, there could be some crazy sci-fi-esque exceptions, but to me, if you could go back in time, instead of trying to end, uh, why not just try to provide positive encouragement in terms of, or try to provide moral teachings to baby Hitler, and therefore he grows up in a way that he's not a crazy person trying to, end an entire race of people and take over the world. You could probably just influence his life in a positive manner so he doesn't end up being the type of person he becomes. Um, yes, I got a big nose. Please hit like and subscribe. Yes, I put a picture of the kitty up on screen. I don't know who that is, Iron PR. It's nobody. It's something it's just a bunch of nonsense. Um, Aero Astra, please hit like and subscribe. None. I mean, you say synagogues. I mean, Freemasonry is not a religion and it's not Judaism. I mean, there are many Freemasons who are Jewish, but there are many Freemasons who are Christian. There are many Freemasons who are Catholic, Protestant, Hindu, Sikh, etc., etc. Anonymous Freemasonry. So Freemasonry is about different things to different Masons. Every Mason will have his own view on what it's about. Ultimately, though, what Freemasonry is about at its most basic level is it's about the belief that it's worth spending time with other people, right? It's kind of like asking, what is it about to go with your friends on a Friday night? That it is worth spending time with other people. And once you decide it's worth it, you need to find reasons to spend time with other people and causes and purposes and structures, and you organize spending time with other people, right? That's what Freemasonry does. I've always thought also at its core, Freemasonry is about the belief that the world can be made better through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Freemasonry is not satanic. Aero Astra is right. Some fools do make it out to be a conspiracy. Please hit like, Aero Astra. Please hit subscribe. Congratulations, Webster, on first of all going to art school and second of all turning out all right. I'm sure you would have turned out all right even if you didn't go to art school. Do you do anything on YouTube? Do you show off your art on YouTube or on social media? Like, do you have an Instagram account? I mean, Anonymous, it's human nature, right, to want to spend time with other people. We're social creatures. Definitely not all, Aero Astra. 13 approximately of the 39 signers of the Declaration were independent, were founding fathers. As do I, Yucatan, and also with my brothers. No teleconosis. Freemasonry is not satanic. Freemasonry is not a religion of any sort. And I am not a Satanist. What I am is somebody asking you to hit the like button and the subscribe button. What I'm asking you to do, Stephen Pickett, is hit like and subscribe. I don't do drugs. I've never done any drugs. I think as a general rule, we within Freemasonry should not be doing them. Now, every Mason makes his own decisions, but certainly if something is illegal or not allowed in the country in which you live, you should not be doing the drugs. Freemasonry definitely is tied into the Enlightenment era. Voltaire was a Mason famously. So without a doubt, there's a lot of Enlightenment era philosophy that has made its way into Freemasonry and was a vital part of Masonic development, right? It's emphasis on democracy, on universal rights. So they sponsor charities. Many Masons and Masonic lodges sponsor charitable activities. You can check out the Masonic Charities Foundation out of England to see some of the incredible work that they do. Skeet was there. What was the name of this conference? That is awesome. Stu and Billy, icons. It's crazy that there are people out there trying to put people down. It is unfortunate, but it is something that happens as well. So, yeah, I wish people wouldn't put other people down. Just remember, we're all stuck on this earth for such little time. Like we get 75 years if we're lucky, on average. Maybe sometimes a little bit more, maybe sometimes less, but like on average 75 years. Why would we want within those 75 years to make anybody's life miserable, you know? Catman, please hit like and subscribe. Rene, I don't know who that is. When I think of Enlightenment era philosophers, it's Voltaire, it's Diderot, it's Condorcet, maybe Ben Franklin, if you want to call him a philosopher. I definitely do not enjoy that smell at all. I have a very bad sense of smell, though, in fairness. So if you're just joining, please hit like, please hit subscribe. I would be grateful. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for the stars, 2 beers. That's incredibly kind as well. I did not know any bodies were found in Ben Franklin's house. I mean, I know he did a lot of experiments, and I know he experimented on cadavers. I didn't know they kept them at his house. Well, Lozel, I mean, there are some Freemasons who are also stonemasons, absolutely, but it's not a requirement. I mean, we're a operative group, right? Not a right. We're a speculative group, not an operative group, which means speculative, meaning we do not we're not operative masons. We're not we're a social club, but I have known many Freemasons who are also stonemasons, and I do wish that we as speculative masons actually spent more time learning about our stone Masonic roots. I think that would be really cool and really beneficial. I mean, it doesn't shock me because I do know Ben Franklin did a lot of experiments on cadavers, so hopefully cadavers. So maybe he did keep them in his house. I don't know. Have I ever been to Connecticut? No, I haven't, but I'd love to. It'd be really fun. It'd be really cool to visit Connecticut. I've been to a lot of places in the States, not Connecticut though. Or actually, wait, no. Have I? Hold on one second. Let me double check something. Let me double check something. I mean, I think there's definitely authentic wisdom to attain within Freemasonry. The nature, the way you attain that wisdom is esoteric, but the nature itself is not. No, I've never been to Connecticut. Connecticut. I've been to Delaware, New Jersey, and yeah, I've been to Delaware and New Jersey, but never Connecticut. Um, like again, so for example, this is an example I've used before, right? Let's say that you join a football team. By being on a football team, by playing football, you will derive wisdom they can apply to day-to-day life. The wisdom of teamwork, the wisdom of practice, the wisdom of health, well-being, the wisdom of being coachable. Those are not esoteric wisdoms, right? That is not an example of esoteric wisdom. It's wisdom that anybody can learn, but the way you learn that, the way you derive that wisdom is unique to being a football player and the practice you do. Within Freemasonry, you will gain wisdom around things like universality, charity, tolerance, memorization skills, conflict management, and all of that stuff is incredibly valuable. Um, Now, other people can gain it other ways. What's unique and esoteric is not the wisdom itself, it's the manner through which it is derived, which is unique to Freemasonry. Um, yeah, being a good person. There's a lot of different ways to develop the skills necessary to be a good person. Freemasonry is one of them. It's the way I prefer. Um, we should all try to be good people as much as possible. Once again, please take a moment if you're just joining us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I would be truly, truly grateful. We are at, I'm lucky enough. We are at 3,750 subscribers. So thank you so much for that. 250 away from 4,000. I mean, you don't have to be a Mason, Yucatan. Like I said, I'm sure you're a good person, and there's a million ways to be a good person. That has nothing to do with Freemasonry. Freemasonry is simply one way of many, but it's still grateful to have you here. So thank you so much. Um, Sheep, instead of writing in all caps, because that can be a lot, just hit the like button and just hit the subscribe button. Would be much obliged. Let's just focus on that. I am kind of a loner, so I prefer to just read and pray. First of all, Catman, there is nothing wrong with reading and there's nothing wrong with praying. And if that's what you prefer to do, then that is absolutely what you should keep doing. But I hope that you will recognize there's always value in brotherhood. It doesn't have to be Masonic brotherhood. It could be through a church or a reading group. Most libraries have some type of reading club organization. So, I mean, I'm neither American nor Israeli. I'm Canadian, but I don't like that term at all, right? Um, of any country first. I'm not interested in my government being necessarily Canada first because it's a very narrow way to view the world. It's a very narrow way to make friends, right? If I'm on the schoolyard and I'm telling everybody it's Cameron first, everybody else second, um, that is not something that is going to be particularly, I'm not going to make a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. And when I'm in trouble, no one's going to come to my assistance. I'd rather recognize and understand the mutual dependence of the world. And while prioritizing Canada, not put us first to such an extent that we ignore the troubles and problems of others. Does not seem to be very helpful to me and seems like a very short-sighted strategy. Sometimes being charitable towards others will come back and give you assistance. So I guess that's what I would say to that. And I definitely do not want Canada to join the USA. Canada first, in the sense of Canada is Canada. Let's not, I love our unique Canadian identity and I'm happy to be Canadian. Now, if America wants to join Canada, you can be the 11th province. You're more than welcome. I mean, Freemasonry does remind us that we are all brothers, regardless of where we live, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Debate everything present. Welcome. I think you're new to the stream. You must be new to the stream because I don't recognize that name. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I would say, as a Freemason, I would say Supreme Being first because God will have specific religious connotations. Sheep, you gotta stop talking in all caps. It's a bit much. You need to calm down a little bit over here, all right? Just relax. Just be cool. But I appreciate you being here nonetheless. I'm Providence, 11th province. That's right. If you guys want to join, you're more than welcome. You can be the 11th province in the States. That is true. You guys tried with Canada, it didn't go so well. The question of who won is very complicated within that, right? So, no worries. Thank you for being here. Nice try. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to turn around, but please hit like, please hit subscribe. There is no mission statement, Alejandro, to Freemasonry. The closest one maybe would be to make good men better, but I'm not a big fan of that. I like the statement. Actually, hold on just one second. There's a couple different statements, though, that I think I've always liked that I think apply well to Freemasonry. Let me get them now. If I could find them once again. I want to make sure I get the quotes correct. So I'm not a Christian, so I don't view him as literally existing. No, we are not. The highest degree of Freemasonry is a third degree. I view them as metaphors. I think theologically, I've always taken Lucifer and Satan to be the same being. Although I understand some people view Lucifer as a separate entity from Satan, more like a Prometheus type figure. I just take them as metaphors for rebelling against the natural order and how that can get you cast out of heaven. Going back to mission statement, I'm just trying to find the quotes now. Hold on just one second. Dun, dun, dun. Proving very where is it? I gotta find the article I wrote. Here it is. This is a Medium, by the way. So one mission statement I really liked is Freemasons are committed to doing what is best for society. That was from our Grand Master in 2017 here in Ontario. I really liked that quote very much. And that's one that I used. Another one is dun, dun, dun. Masonry teaches the lesson of universality. Some organizations are inclined to be narrow, but the Masonic order seeks to crush out prejudice and set up a high standard of morals for its members to keep before them. That is from 1922. That's another great mission statement I like. And another one is to be good men and honorable. That's a really great mission statement also, and one I enjoy quite a bit. So, no, there is no Freemasonry secret society working together with banking. Freemasonry is not a secret society because here I am talking about it. You can disagree with Freemasonry if you want to, I guess, but you can't call it a secret society when I'm here chatting away. Why you gotta be so cruel, Fall Dog? Why can't you just hit the like button and the subscribe button? Is that not good enough? And I'm grateful for everybody who's here. We are at 3,750 subscribers, so I'm close to 4,000. Help me get there. Thank you for that. We are then one more. We are 3,751. So I'm grateful for that as well. Like I said, it's crazy to think when they started, everybody starts at 0. Never that I've seen. I mean, because Freemasonry is decentralized, right? So there's no like universal clique which they could be quote unquote conspiring with. That's one of the things you need to keep in mind and remember about Freemasonry. There is no single quote unquote clique on which they can be conspiring. Right? I mean, even for example, one thing people like to bring up is P2 out of Italy. They are not a recognized Masonic lodge. So, and I don't really know what they could do locally. You don't get any influence, any power, any money, any fame from being a Freemason. So it's one of those questions that like, what could they actually conspire to do? But thank you, you for subscribing. Makes me think of He-Man. Which that movie does look very good, I will say that. Alejandro, I mean, it is. Absolutely. It's very similar to becoming an elk. If there are lodges very high profile elites, it's not, you're right, Catman, it's not a Mason exclusive thing. And I mean, in theory, if what I would say is the more people you know, the more people who may be able to help you if you're struggling with something, right? That's absolutely the case. But if you're joining Freemasonry because you expect to hobnob with elites, you're going to be very disappointed. I've personally never come across any Masonic lodges that have quote unquote elite members, right? Sham, well, what are you going to do? And Sheep, you need to stop talking all in caps or you're going to find yourself banned. Not that it matters, but you're being pretty challenging at the moment. And why do you say I'm low level? I've been a Mason for 20 years. I've attended Masonic events all around the world. What would make you say I'm low level? Because I think that's a very silly thing to say, personally. I doubt you even understand what the levels within Freemasonry are. Because we don't talk in levels, right? We talk in ranks, or we don't talk in levels or ranks. We talk in degrees and offices. So I am a 3rd degree Master Mason. I'm 18th degree Scottish Rite. I am also a worshipful master of a lodge. You have to be the correct age, Catman, so at least 18 or 21, depending on the jurisdiction. And you have to approach the lodge of your own free will and accord and express your interest in joining. Right? You can't be going there because someone told you to go there. Beyond that, you go through the process, talk to them, get to know them, they get to know you. The application process is as much a chance for you to get to know the lodge as it is for the lodge to get to know you. You're both asking questions, learning more about them, they learn more about you. That's a really cool thing, right? And yeah, I hope that if you're interested, you take the first step, approach them, and see what they have to say. Is, I mean, by definition, no, because it's illicit, right? We within Freemasonry, one of the things that we are, you know, we talk about, and it's so important to remember, is that you are expected to be compliant with the laws of the country in which you live or in which you work or travel through. That would include drug laws. So now, that doesn't mean to say that all drugs are illicit. You need to be really careful. Alcohol can be problematic. Prescription medications, caffeine can become problems. You have a responsibility to be responsible with whatever substances you're using. So I guess that'd be my response to that. We within Freemasonry do not commit tax fraud. So I don't know what to tell you. Sounds like you've got a lot of foolish thoughts and ideas about Freemasonry. No, that's not what the higher levels believe. And again, it's not the higher levels. Someone's been reading way too much Albert Pike and not understanding what Albert Pike is actually referring to. Which is fine, but you're wrong. You'd have to ask each Mason what they view of it. I don't know. I mean, I know some Masons who smoke marijuana, some who don't. Most who don't, in my experience. I've never done it myself. I guess what I would say is if there is a discrepancy in the law, they should do what they think is best and right and moral and kind of go from there. Well, the exoteric, without question, I'm here talking about the exoteric right now, right? Um, so China doesn't ban Freemasonry completely. Um, there is Freemasonry, very active Freemasonry in Hong Kong and Macau, but Freemasonry is no not is banned in mainland China. Though there is Chinese Freemasonry in, for example, British Columbia and Canada. It's one of those things where it just goes to show different governments have a misunderstanding of what Freemasonry is, but so be it, right? Give it enough time, things come back. Freemasonry was banned in Russia for like 70, 80 years, only to come back and return in the mid 90s. Maybe there are handshakes, maybe there aren't. Um, I'm not going to say you got to join Freemasonry. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into the personal lives of Freemasons, 10D printer, and what they do personally. What I will say is certainly I think Freemasonry encourages men to be good men and honorable. Having affairs or cheating on one's partner is not being good or honorable. So, I mean, it's not the type of thing I would, put my nose into within whatever it might be, but I would encourage men not to do it. It doesn't have to be a Freemason. I would just encourage any man not to cheat. Um, so there are no, well, I mean, again, the Freemasonry was outlawed in Iran in 1979 after the revolution. Having said that, there is the Grand Lodge of Iran in Exile, which is Iranian Masons that meet in Los Angeles, and they could have they could be a Mason. They could be, let's say, from Iran, have moved to a different country, became a Freemason, moved back, or they could have family there, or who knows, or they could be soldiers. I don't know if there are any ground troops in Iran at the moment, but that's always a possibility as well. Thank you for the nightly like. That's very kind. It may have been Catman. I know it's not now because there are Norwegian Freemasons. So, but it may have been once upon a time. Hello, Rop. Okay, I mean, I can't speak for what happens in China in terms of their religion or religious, organizations or the relation between government and religion. What I would say though is, Freemasonry, it's always been respectful of government authority, the magistrate, but it is also an organization that promotes freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of religion. So, but it is, again, it exists in Hong Kong and Macau. I do not know what the Freemasons companion book is, but how do you know it's a legit book? And how do you know it applies to all of Freemasonry? Freemasonry is decentralized. There's not a single ritual or a single book that applies to all of Freemasonry. Um, oh, you probably asked Teddy. By the way, Teddy, please hit like and subscribe if you've not done so yet. You're probably talking about Prince Hall Lodge. There are many white Prince Hall Masons in 2026, but AF and AM as well. The Grand Lodge in Nashville is an incredible organization, incredible Masonic group. Um, I mean, Freemasonry is not a political organization. In fact, you are not allowed to discuss politics or religion within a lodge. So we have liberal, conservative, left wing, right wing, and everything in between, and they're not allowed to discuss it within lodge. So you could have a Trump supporter sitting next to a Harris supporter, and you wouldn't necessarily know. Hello, be world aware. You should always be aware. XCal, we do plenty of fun things. We have bowling nights and special meetings and et cetera, et cetera. So it's really fun and really enjoyable. Um, I agree. I think it's nice as well. No, Freemason is not equal devil worship. Freemasonry is not a religion. So we're not really worshiping of any sort. That's not how it works. Thank you, Teddy Printer. I appreciate that. That's very kind. And it's great to see the channel continue to grow. We're on our way to 4,000 subscribers. So let's see when we get there. Fingers crossed. I do not know what Yeet and the Skiddly Do is, but thank you anyways for being here. And you can also find me, Teddy Printer, on a lot of different social media sites. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. It depends on the lodge, Teddy. So within Ontario, there is suit and tie. In other lodges, in Alabama, I don't believe there is, for example. So it depends on the jurisdiction and what the rules are. As a general rule, though, if you're an officer, so you're responsible for administration of the lodge, then usually you're expected to wear a suit and tie. What is some good advice for becoming a better man? That could be religion or politics to some people, Alejandro. I mean, you either discuss the administrative tasks necessary to produce a Masonic lodge, or maintain a Masonic lodge, or it could also be the case that you're going through a ritual. You might have Masonic education. What is some good advice? I mean, temperance is incredibly valuable. And that is something I've had to learn. I would say don't try to be a good man. Just try your best and do what you can do. I have never read that. I don't know what that is. Well, apparently some people are quote unquote falling for it. Maybe it's just because I'm not in all caps yelling at people. Tends to help. And Teddy, that's an issue, or Tendy. And I mean, that's one thing why I've talked so much about the rising cost of gas, the rising cost of oil, rising costs in general. A lot of people think that like economic conditions don't impact Freemasonry. They absolutely do. That is the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, paying your rent, all that stuff goes and becomes way more expensive. So, um, I mean, I spend a lot of time and money on the craft. You don't have to necessarily, and it also depends how you define, like every time, for example, I would take a day off of work to go to a Masonic Lodge meeting. That's costing me money as well, right? Um, Fraudster, please hit like and subscribe. D808H, please hit like and subscribe. Yes, I got a big nose, but you can still hit like and you can still hit subscribe. I can have a big nose and still hit like and you can still hit like and subscribe, right? And I've grown to accept the fact I've got a big nose. Nice. Are those worth a lot of money? It sounds like they would be. I mean, there's so many Masonic coins out there. Like I've got so many. Well, thank you. I'll take that, Teddy. Like, hold on just one second. I'll be right back in a moment. I'm not going far, I promise. Ooh. These are all of my Masonic coins. And if there's even some pennies in here, there's a whole bunch of Masonic pennies in here. One day I'd love to create like a little care package with everything. But I have some pennies in here. This is the most recent one I got. This is from Ann Arbor, in Michigan. Maybe one day. I've never heard of any Masonic coins being worth anything. But again, if they're rare, maybe Freemasonry experiences a resurgence. They might at some point grow in value, but you don't collect them for the value, you collect them for the memories of them, right? Like this is a really incredible one. It's one I like a lot, one of the bigger ones. So yeah, Masonic coins are pretty incredible. And I'm lucky. I think the fact I have so many just demonstrates how lucky I am. So 1,000 half dollars. I like 10 from the 1800s. How many did you find, Tendy? So is it worth a lot? What does 40% silver mean? As someone who, again, does not know much about coins. Black cats are cool. I love black cats. I love cats of all different colors. I think cats are cool in general. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll take a moment to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're new. If you're not new, welcome. I left a picture of my cat on social media. Maybe you can check it out and um, it'd be awesome to have you check it out and leave a comment. Maybe you think my cat is cool too. Oh, I mean, Masonic coins are very memorable. And I mean, that's the point of getting them, right? They connect you to a part of your travels. Every one of those coins connects me to a time when I was traveling somewhere, a time when I was visiting something. That was really special and really cool. And I was grateful for those opportunities. Yes, if you go to my community page, Black Cats Are Cool, you will see a picture of my cat. I hope you leave a comment on the picture. Um, Well, honestly, Jason, if you want to receive a copy of one of these coins, if you become a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/growingcompass. One of the things you get with that is you get a coin. So I hope you will do so. Even at the $5 mark, you get a Windsor Masonic Temple coin. I mean, I'm technically allowed to say whatever I want, but there are things where I refuse to talk about simply because. Um, I don't want to affect the bonds of brotherhood between the current and past few generations of Masons. Giving out secrets of the rituals would do so. What I always say, and it also it's kind of like a spoiler, it makes it less special for people going through the ritual. What I will say, and I've said this many times before, is that there's nothing within any Masonic ritual that is illegal, immoral, or against one's civic, religious, or familial or moral responsibilities. So there you go. I am a traveler, and I'm grateful to be a traveler, both literally and metaphorically. I think you're a free member as well. If you want to join for the $5 mark, and then you can always cancel afterwards. What you need to do though is send me a message through the app, or I can send through your email just with your address or your mailing address. I have to mail something for Courtney tomorrow actually, so I can mail you the coin as well. There are some issues with tariffs and stuff, but we're working on that. So the whole idea of being a traveler, I've never liked that as a statement because I'm literally a traveler. I consider myself a professional traveler. I'm also a Freemason. The whole idea of traveling to the East or whatever it is, though, is just ask if you're a Mason. That's all you got to do. I am a member of 5 Masonic lodges, but I'm currently the Worshipful Master of Border Cities Lodge number 554. But I'm also a member of Tranquility Lodge out of Texas. I'm also a member of Tranquility Lodge out of Texas, Lodge Hoyland out of Israel, Tel Aviv, and then Windsor Lodge and Harmony Lodge. Well, I try to be beautiful. Most people say I'm look ugly on this stream. Nice to meet you as well, CSJ. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. I started this channel to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located, and also, to provide stories of Masonic interest, talk to people. It's Father's Day is June. We're way early before Father's Day, although my father is a Freemason, so there's that. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I never discuss what my ethnicity or religion is because Freemasonry is not going to discriminate for those reasons. No, Captain Cake, Freemasonry is not part of a cult. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll hit that like button, subscribe button, and let me know how you're doing. I'm gonna move this way. It's getting in the way. I do not know where North Catalina is. I'm in Windsor, Ontario, but North Catalina sounds like a lot of fun. So I wish I was there, but no, I'm in North Catalina. Are you subscribed to the channel and are you liking the channel? That's the better question. Alf Stewart, how's it going? I am Canadian, born and raised in Winnipeg, currently live in Windsor, Ontario. I always say Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. Thank you for the like. You're asking a lot of personal questions. No, it's just me. I have a cat though, so that's nice. Well, welcome. I don't know who Arthur Morgan is, but it's good to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll take a moment, hit that like button and subscribe button. Cats are cool. I left a picture of my cat on the community page. I hope you'll check it out and leave a comment. We're going to see what happens. Let's hope not. And let's hope everything calms down. Would be very good because there are many Freemasons throughout the Middle East, many Freemasons in the military, many Freemason civilians. I don't want anybody getting hurt. So anybody else getting hurt, I should say. I know there's already been a lot of people who have been hurt, unfortunately. We're going to hang out for a bit longer, then end the stream because it's almost 3 a.m. I will be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. I look forward to seeing you all there. I hope everybody's having an excellent night. And as always, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you for being here. Elbow Man, welcome. Thanks for joining also. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. I'd be much obliged. My name is Cameron Adamson. In the Patreon app, hold on just one sec. What I will do is I will send you a message tomorrow. Or what you can also do is, hold on just one second. You can shoot me off an email at info@squareandcompass.ca. And if you do that, I will make sure to, if you send me an email, info@squareandcompass.ca with your info, I'll make sure to mail you the coin. Maybe if I can get the chance, I can send it tomorrow. It will be, let me see if I can find one of them here just to show you it. It's this one here. So yeah, shoot me off an email. Like I said, I gotta mail some stuff out tomorrow. I gotta mail something for Courtney, so I should be able to get you something as well. And same thing to you, Jason. I mean, I appreciate all the support. You're a wonderful supporter of the channel, and I'm grateful. So yeah, become a member at the $5 mark, and you should be all set. And again, you don't have to stay as a member. You can just do it to get the coin. If I recall correctly, I think there's actually a 1-week trial period. So I mean, if anybody tried to hurt you, Freemason or not, you should contact the police immediately. So for Freemasonry, Freemasonry for Dummies is an incredible book, and that's the one I would recommend. I also have a Medium page where I write a lot about Freemasonry. I recommend you check that out. If you want my personal opinions, Don Quixote is pretty incredible and well worth checking out. So there's that one. I love The Colorado Kid. I love almost anything by Stephen King, but Colorado Kid, Shining, a lot of his short stories, The Long Walk, A Simple Plan is great as well. I mean, then you should contact the police. Jesse with the trolling. I mean, whoa, calm down, A Time for Judgment. You might need to call 988 if you're thinking about that. We want you here in the world. And I believe, I'm not Christian, but I do believe that Christ would want you here in the world as well. So yeah, that's a good point as well. Sooner or later, you're not going to be here anymore. We all die sooner or later. But let's say later is better. You're here for a reason. Stick around. Talk to somebody. Maybe talk to somebody of your faith, if that's how you're feeling, or consider contacting 988. Um, I would recommend maybe going to a hospital and talking to somebody there. Doesn't mean that what you're saying isn't true, but it sounds like you're under a lot of stress, as you know what you absolutely sounds like you should be, and it sounds like you're going through a rough time. But because you're under so much stress and because you're going through such a rough time, you may need to talk to a doctor about how you're dealing with it, how you're handling it, and the possible negative health effects of it. And again, 988 is a great resource if you're in Canada or America. It's 24 hours a day. Um, and we're thinking of you, all right? Well, you are part of this world, though, right? You're definitely part of this world. You're here talking to me. So you're at this moment, if nothing else, part of my world, part of the YouTube channel's world. And like I said, you can find people to talk to. If you need to go to the hospital, then that's okay. Just go to the hospital. Um, at least you can talk to them there about, for example, you're saying starve you, so I'm worried you're not getting enough to eat. If nothing else, the hospital can talk to you about malnutrition or getting proper nutrition. Um, I don't have a wheelchair exhaust, but I do have my wheelchair. How's it going, Chip? Thank you for being here. Please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would be most grateful. It sounds like your life wasn't easy, a time for judgment. It sounds like your life wasn't easy, which is why, you should be proud of everything that you've done and how far you've come and the fact that you're still here. And I guess what I'd say is I hope that you will keep up the fight and talk to somebody if you need to. Go to the hospital. Can't hurt, right? We will be ending this stream soon, but I will be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. So, I mean, you can at least try. What do you have to lose, right? I mean, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I consider that to be my work. So, yes, I'll be making my work by, supporting the channel by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. No, you need to calm down. A time for judgment. I'm happy that you're here. We want you to stick around. Just talk to somebody, all right? That's the best I can suggest is find somebody to talk to, find somebody to tell your story to. It never hurts to get professional help. And I think Alcatraz is right. I'm not a pastor. I'm a YouTuber, basically. I stream, I talk about Freemasonry. I produce content about Freemasonry. And so, yeah, I hope that you will consider supporting the channel. Edomor, if you say greetings from the Holy Land, you're here. Something must be helping you. Are you from Israel? Because I am a Freemason out of the Grand Lodge of out of Lodge Holy Land number 50 out of Israel. I'm grateful for that. Catman, I mean, yes, but I can't speak to it because I'm not Jewish. What I can say is, I consider myself very lucky that I've spoken to some Freemasons out of who are Jewish, who have told me about the connections. One of my favorite connections is Tikkun Olam, which is a beautiful idea, and it's one of those things that makes Freemasonry connects to Judaism. Tikkun Olam, the idea that the world was split apart and human beings have the responsibility to put it back together. I think you could argue that's a very Masonic idea as well. And there's a parallel there. If you want to learn more about it, though, check out my episode with Worshipful Brother Matthew Parker. It's episode 162 on the Square and Compass podcast. It's titled Freemasonry. Let me just leave the link there. E. Demore, are you subscribe? Maddie, I am a Freemason. I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years. I'm grateful for that. Yeah, Tikkun Olam. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly or not. There's not really anything after the 33rd, and 33rd isn't the highest degree in Freemasonry, by the way. It's the 3rd degree. But yeah, I mean, I've been a Freemason for 20 years. I've never seen anything odd. I've seen things I'm grateful to have seen, but I've never seen anything quote unquote odd. So thank you, Edamore. And I hope you're okay. I hope you're safe. I know that in the Middle East right now, things are challenging, shall we say, but I hope you're keeping yourself safe. And thank you for being here. If anybody can and wants to support this channel, you can do a super chat. You can, send a gift, all that good jazz. Are you a Freemason, Edamore? You say brother, or is that just a general term of endearment? I mean, so Alcatraz, no, that's operative Masons. Freemasonry is a community group or a civic group. Fair enough, Edamore, I don't disagree with you. But I would love to learn how to carve stones. If I could have dinner with the Charles King of Canada and England, of course, that'd be really cool. I'm sure he's have some pretty interesting stories. I've never heard any odd stories from Freemasonry. So there you go. John, this channel is about Freemasonry. It's meant to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located, and produce stories of Masonic interest. I hope you'll hit the like button, John. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button, and thank you for being here. There is, I mean, it used to be more oral traditions, nobody make any jokes, but most lodges and most groups now have the books of the work. It's called a ritual books, though sometimes written in ciphers. I always suggest, though, the best book with which to start when it comes to Freemasonry is ultimately Freemasonry for Dummies by Chris Hodap. It's a great place to start. So Scottish Rite is a type of Masonic group. You need to be a Freemason first, and then you can join the Scottish Rite, which is an independent body within Freemasonry. It's just a different branch of Freemasonry. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you, and I'm grateful. I don't even know what that means, Chip, but okay. All right, so I think we're going to end this stream now. I want to thank everybody for being here. Please take a moment to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, because I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. I guess today, technically 1 p.m. Having you guys join the stream would be much appreciated. Skull and Bones is not Madium. Skull and Bones is a separate organization. It's not Freemasonry. So it's a fraternity, I believe, in like out of Yale, but it's not Masonic. So no. Awesome, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. for me here. I don't know what time it is for you. Good night, Jason. I'll get you once I see the info, I'll get it to you as soon as I can. All right, guys. There are so many groups, Maddie M. If you want to join me tomorrow at 2 p.m., sorry, 1 p.m., we can talk about some of those tomorrow and what they are. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. 7:08. Yeah, so you're about 5 hours ahead of me. All right, talk to you guys later.